You guess, yeah. The champions. Hey, we gon' bow, never fall. The champions. Hey, we gon' bow, never fall. I put my head up and told them crown me. My ring finger got a rock on it. I put my head up and told them crown me. My ring finger got a rock on it.
This weekend has been unbelievable. I mean, I've been to 8 game changers and nothing is the same. This one was personal. The whole weekend was about me. It was about figuring out why I have the problem, why I haven't gotten to where I need to be.
So that's why I'm gonna peel back these layers this weekend so you can see that it's stressful looking around for a problem that you should be looking at in the mirror. That's stressful. Because you're like, what's the problem? Every day you're waking up like, what's going on? I don't understand this. I don't understand that. Let me ease your stress. It's you. It's me. It's us. And guess what? When I accepted that, my stress went away.
There are not too many trainers who bring the emotion as well as the information on top of all of the different strategies and techniques. And you can throw him any curveball and he'll take it and roll with it better than anyone I've ever seen.
But I listen well. I'm not gonna let her confuse the conversation and have me on here with all that junk. She said a whole bunch of nothing. What I heard was she busy and she been on her job 10 years. Isolate what matters. Does that make sense?
And throughout the entire weekend, each different training event, each different speaker broke out on where we need to focus as we go into this next, I like to say, 90-day blitz.
You gotta fight laziness. That's me. You gotta fight procrastination. That's most of us. You gotta fight the fear of failure. And believe it or not, some people are afraid to succeed. You gotta fight your excuses.
We think that we're doing the same business. We're not even speaking the same language. And the only difference is commitment. Commitment means you do it anyway. Is this making sense? Put this in your notes. People who are successful and committed make mandatory what amateurs make optional.
Excitement and energy is contagious. It's caught, not taught. So if you have it, it forces that person to kind of match your energy. We big on that, right? He acting funny. I'm gonna match his energy. I'm gonna show his. Let's match it in a positive way, though.
Before you put your feet on the ground, as soon as your eyes open every morning, you gotta say to yourself, I don't care what happens today, I will win. When you have that mentality throughout your day, it doesn't matter what happens. When you get a little traffic going to work, that don't bother you. When the kids not acting the way they should be acting, trying to get out, that don't bother you. When your boss getting on your last nerve, that don't bother you. Because at the end of the day, you've already decided, I will win.
This weekend has been absolutely amazing. You can never describe to anybody the feeling, the vibe, the energy that's in the room. We've learned so much. All the speakers were phenomenal. I'm gonna tell you what, you don't ever want to miss another game changer, so make sure You're at the next one.
Hi everyone, it's Felicia Ray. I'm here with my business partners, Mr. Don and Ruthie Wilson. I have a question for you. I want to know, how has MWR changed your lives, and also why should everyone come to Game Changer?
It changed our lives for this. It brought $12,000 annually back into our household, which when you put that money into action has created a six-figure net worth, more than $750,000, right, in less than 3 years. Why people should come to Game Changer is because it helps you work on your mindset, right? If you work on your mindset, the money is gonna come naturally. Oftentimes what stops us is what we think, right? And we all know what we think about, we bring about. Right. So events like Game Changer help you get out of your comfort zone, help you increase your network, because that then helps you increase your network.
Amen to that. Hello everyone, it's Felicia Ray. I'm here with my business partner, Miss Christy Howard.
Hey y'all!
Miss Christy, we are a Game Changer in Atlanta, and I have two questions for you.
Okay.
One, how has this business changed your life? And two, why should people come to Game Changer?
Well, let's talk about the first one. I was bartending before I got involved in this industry, and I was going to work, hoping that I could make, $100 to $150 a day. And it was because it was a cash cow. It was money that was constantly coming in. What I realized though was the more money that I made, the faster I spent that money. So I didn't have the discipline or the mindset to actually make it and make that money grow some more.
Right.
Got introduced, of course, to the industry at a very young age, found MWR, and was able to pretty much retire from bartending. I haven't bartended in years.
Awesome.
So not only was this business able to take me off my job, but it also put me in a position to be making over 5 figures in 7.5 months. So I've been able to take care of my parents as well.
Yes.
So yeah, that in itself was it for me. I tell everybody, you have to figure out what your why is. About why do you want to be successful? Why do you want to make $15,000 a day? And once your why is big enough, nothing will stop you from being able to eat. Now, Game Changer is one of those things where I don't care how much you explain how great it was or how awesome it was. It's a difference when you are present versus, it's kind of like trying to mail a haircut. You know what I'm saying?
I like that analogy.
In order to get your hair done, you got to actually have your butt in the seat. It's the same thing. So I can tell you how my haircut went, but until you get in that seat and actually experience it, it's a different ball game. I mean, all kind of emotions. You're hearing people's testimonies. You're hearing people being transparent and telling you, more than one person in there, has been homeless before. And to see people go from being homeless, like having no home, to somebody like Don Wilson that's now worth $750,000. His net worth is over $750,000. And just a few years ago, he was homeless. So this business, this event, all of it has an impact on people, and we're all for changing lives one at a time.
Yes,
Like it. I'm glad you're here. How was your first Game Changer?
My first Game Changer has been amazing.
Okay, what was your highlight?
My highlight, I would have to say, overcoming fears. All the conversation about fears.
Okay.
Because for me, that was embedded in childhood.
Got it.
So even now as an adult, recognizing I still have childhood fears. And even just getting up on stage, saying my name and where I'm from, like, I don't want to do it.
Right. That's real though,
Yes,
and that's raw.
yes.
But yeah, it teaches you to get out of your comfort zone. And I think a lot of times we stay in our comfort zone because that's where we're comfortable. And when God is trying to take us in a different direction or trying to elevate, He's got to stretch us. So we got to be willing to stretch.
Miss Anna. And
You are so welcome. I'm glad you're here. I hope to see you at all of the future.
I will be there.
I'm on the counter and I'll be looking for
Yes, you better. Hold me to it.
I will, for sure.
This is Felicia Ray. I'm here with my business partner, Mr. Charles Ivory. Mr. Ivory, we are at Game Changer in Atlanta.
Yes.
Tell us what MWR has done to change your life and why everyone needs to be a game changer.
Woo, how much time do I have? Okay, I'm gonna tell you, MWR Financial is life changing. It changed not only my life, but the life of my kids and my children's children. See, we're building legacies over here at MWR. So just to give you a little bit of some of my success, the moment I joined MWR, I was cash flow positive immediately because they put $600 back into my paycheck. Believe that? Yeah. And then I shared that with my wife. They put $800 in her paycheck. We was $1,400 cash flow positive, and we done nothing yet. Right?
Boss.
Now, MWR have a team of experts, and they got a debt elimination plan where they gave us a plan every month on how to get out of debt. I was able to eliminate, believe it or not, $80,000 worth of debt in just 1 year.
80,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they increased our credit scores, my wife and I, over 800 points. We was able to refinance our mortgage going from a 5.7 to a 2.3. I shared this information with a ton of people, and they have a referral program that if you bring people to the experts, they pay anywhere between $5 to $15,000 per day.
Just for sharing.
Now here's the best part. After joining MWR Financial, after having that great successful start, I lost my job in the middle of the pandemic due to COVID for 90 days without pay. But I had already doubled my salary, so I didn't lose any income. Awesome. 90 days later, they called me back to work. I was at $9,000 a month.
Wow.
When I was earning $25 a month on the job.
That's what I'm
So I was able to fire my boss.
Yes.
My wife was able to fire her boss. I'm now building my dream home with the residual income that's earned through MWR Financial. We invested in their land banking, where our land grew 37.5% in this first year.
Wow.
They got a private reserve account where you can become your own bank. My private reserve account grew 18% in the middle of a pandemic first year. Now I have a 4-year-old that's earning $1,500 a month, $50 a day, paying for his own private education and investing $500 in his own bank. MWR is life-changing. You need to come to these type of events. You need to get with this young lady right now to get started today. Now listen to me. This is your financial angel. You may not recognize your financial angel. They don't come in the form of what you think they are, but this woman got wings and a halo. Now, y'all want to be financial positive? You need to get with her today.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. That's so inspirational. Oh
John
my
Wilson,
goodness.
Ruthie Rodriguez, not regionals, not regional 2, not regional 3, not regional 4, executives. Yet, executives. But because of what they've done with the money, corporate rewarded them because of all the assets they're purchasing. I want them to talk about how they're upwards of $750,000 in net worth. Now, how is that possible? What did you start with? How did you ramp up? How you feel?
First of all, let me do this.
You're gonna weigh it down.
So I gotta say this. You know, we down to Owens, living in this car. I used to live out of my car as well. We talked and she said, I just really love this place. And I said, you want it? And she says, I really want this. I said, okay, cool. 60 days later, the date that we were initially supposed to make the first mortgage payment, I sent an email and I said, I need a payoff quote. All right. I think y'all missed that. 60 days later, before the first payment was made, I said, I need a payoff quote. And I stroked the check.
Come on, sir.
And I paid it in full. The entire time I was trying to find my why, it was staring me in the face. And it hit me like a sack of bricks, and I'm wrapping this up. Honey, what do you want? Babe, I really want some land in Puerto Rico. I really want to keep my family's legacy together. A couple months ago, I'm gonna go visit my mom for a week. I said, no, just stay for a month. Just stay for a month. While you over there for that month, I need you to talk to the lawyers. I need you to talk to the family, and I need you to find these 10 acres, and let's go make it happen.
That's right.
When we talk about $750,000 net worth, I'm just a 3-star executive director now. I'm just a 3-star executive now. I'm on my way to the ring.
Yes, sir.
What about Mr. Gerald Parker? Eliminated $52,000 in debt. Reduced his taxes $350 a month. All the experts did this. Score up 126 points. He made 5 figures a month, just like the Ivories in residual income. Just bought his vacation property in South Florida. He lived in North Carolina. So now he got 2 properties. When he want to get away, go down to the water, he got it in South Florida. Bought his new Mercedes cash. Whoa. And some of your friends are going, but I don't know about the membership. What's all these resources we need to get wealthy? You've been trying to get wealthy by yourself for too long. Let the experts do it. Anita, how you feel?
I feel good.
You feel good?
Yes.
All right, give us how you felt going from the house you were in and what made you say, I'm ready to leap into my new house because of this membership.
So I'm just so thankful for MWR Financial and Extra Digit Movement, you, Mr. Bean. It felt good. Honestly, I wasn't really looking to move, but where I live was in a good school district, and so the realtors started knocking on my door, asking me, did I want to sell? I didn't, but my kids did. So they got a realtor, and they went looking at houses. I was the last one to get on board. But because of the membership, see, when I started, and I used to be embarrassed to say that my credit score was a 503. And but through the membership, they got it up 209 points. And my husband's score went up 159 points. So then we sold our home, and now I live in my forever dream home. But it's nice, but I was excited about the 2.5 interest rate that we were able to get because of that. And I just want to share that life happened to me recently. I had my initial knee replacement surgery February. Supposed to went back to work May the 22nd, but I was rushed into surgery again May the 30th because infection set in and septic was about to take over, right? Yeah. Had exhausted all my time at work, no paycheck, but guess what sustained me?
Every time.
I thank God. Because he saw this day. I joined over 3 years ago, but he saw this time and this day what would happen to me and my income. And so he gave me this blessing. I always tell people, I said, we got a miracle in our mouth, but if you don't open your mouth and share it, nobody would know about it. Thank you, Mr. Bean. Thank you so much. I love you all.
Love you more. Give it up for Anita Patton.
University, reputable company called Influence, to get your active partners on this platform, because you're going to need to hear and see this true exclusive invitation only wealth membership and what we are bringing to the table. Listen, guys, grab your pen and pad to take. Are going to see how we're going to change the trajectory of building your wealth from having this new product added to our exclusive. Let's see who we have on the line out there to join us from across the country. Durham, North Carolina, welcome to the platform. Benjamin McRae, welcome to the platform. Charlotte, welcome to the platform. Chicago, welcome to the platform. Columbia, Maryland, welcome to the platform. Sumter, South Carolina, welcome to the platform. Mr. Porter, welcome to the platform. Somerville, South Carolina, welcome. El Paso, welcome. Goldsboro, North Carolina, welcome to the platform. Queens, New York, welcome to the platform. Battle Creek, Michigan, welcome to the platform. Gary, Indiana, welcome to the platform. Fort Stewart, Georgia, welcome to the platform. Washington, D.C., welcome to the platform. Bracy, Virginia, welcome to the platform. Phoenix, Arizona, welcome to the platform. Maddox, New Jersey, welcome to the platform. Atlanta, Georgia, welcome. Snellville, Georgia, welcome. Wake Forest, North Carolina, welcome. Delaware, welcome. Guys, listen, while you're still chiming in, people from all over the country, let's go ahead and bring this gentleman who you have heard from before to the platform. Listen, he is well documented in the industry. He has built teams of tens of thousands of people from across this great country. The gentleman knows how to build and build big. His knowledge in industry and experience has propelled MWR Financial to become the company where lifestyle and legacy connect. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the live our president, Mr. Andamo Tolson. Mr. Tolson.
Hey, Gerald, thank you so much. As always, you are always here getting us ready to have a tremendous live tonight. I appreciate you so much for always being consistent and getting us ready to go. So thank you so much, Daryl. Ladies and gentlemen, good to have you. I see more and more people are getting on. I'm telling you, this is one of those times where you want to make sure your entire organization is on this platform, because you're going to hear from someone you kind of heard from before. A few of you, some of you know what you're in store for. So I know you made an absolute great job of getting everybody here on this, being ready tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the pleasure to be able to introduce someone, and I have to kind of tell you what I love about what we're going to do tonight is it comes through this private information. Remember, there's two sets of information in the tree. One that's public that we all kind of learned in school, and the other is private that generally gets passed down through bloodlines, unless you know someone that knows someone to be in the right set of circles and things like that. Well, at MWR, we've been blessed to do that. And, you know, when I met Mr. Roger Grant, who we all know, who, by the way, I did this at one of his environments where you're learning where he kind of takes you into like a 2-3 day boot camp, and you really get down into understanding your Trust My Assets. So it's an ongoing education that he provides. And so it was at one of those classes that I attended, because we don't just at MWR tell you about things that we don't do. See, everything we do, and this is what I love about our great CEO and founder, Mr. Brian House, is that he has talked to you about the very things he invests in, the things he does to help create wealth, and has created wealth for him and his family. We do the same thing. So like you, I have my trusts are all put together. I went to the class, and as I was at the class, which was phenomenal, and I learned more about my trust, I was able to ask certain questions and things like that to get details from Mr. Roger Grant, our Trust My Assets expert. Well, what he did was he introduced me to a gentleman by that you're going to hear from tonight that was talking about precious metals. And through that introduction, and then ultimately we got involved. I got involved in acquiring some precious metals, and then built a relationship with this gentleman that has been phenomenal. I don't get to just say he gets to help us really make wealth real for you and your family as a part of that process, but I get to call him a friend. He's not just an expert, he's actually a friend, and even, ready for this, a family friend, because he has built relationships with everyone in my family. Because as we do these things, we do it with family. I do it with family because it's important to have this information passed on to the next generation so an actual legacy can be left. Sorry, I'm so excited I can't even get the words out. But I will tell you, when we met, the day that I met him through Rogers Environment, I literally had my wife there and my oldest son there. So the person I'm going to bring up, and I'm going to tell you who he is in just a moment, he met both of us, all of us there, but kind of individually, didn't know any of us were connected, and then ultimately found out that we were all connected, and it's been exciting ever since. So let's do this. I want to bring up a gentleman, again, that I have a tremendous amount of respect for. He is absolutely valued, tremendous knowledge in the area of precious metals. He is an expert. He's an expert's expert. And what he's done is uniquely position himself throughout not only the country, but the world to do some things in precious metals that you will see have not been done before. And it's through this exclusive relationship we now have with him, you get to experience the benefits of expertise and the MWR Precious Metals lead expert, none other than Mr. David Wren. David, how are you, my friend?
Andamo, how are you, my friend? Yes, so true. I am honored to be a family member, as you're a family member with us, and you are a very, very trusted friend. And you know, when we first met, it didn't take long for our overall kinship to really just skyrocket. And it's like I've never not known you, but I just had met you during that time. And so I greatly appreciate you and the family and everything else. And I'm greatly looking forward to our one of our senior VPs, Gary Verge, is here. We are very much looking forward to just growing this relationship with MWR and just helping everyone get to the levels that their birthright has already established. It's just when you don't relinquish your birthright, you never have to worry about being wealthy. Is when you are tricked out of or you walk away from your birthright is where the poverty starts, because you become the outcast. So you want to make sure that we are brought back into the fold and no longer are the financial outcasts that we have actually, what we've actually trained and conditioned our friends and family members to actually participate in that energy. So I just want to say thank you, and everyone that's welcomed me, thank you as well. And Gary Verge and I, it's an honor for us to be here tonight.
Well, David, we're so excited for you to be here, and what you've done in the precious metals arena has been remarkable. And what's interesting and what's uniquely this relationship, how it was formed, I know the kind of company we are, where we're constantly growing and we're building people from all walks of life, people that they don't have to have any sort of financial expertise or literacy, because the experts are doing the work for them. They have the results that they're looking for. We literally are creating that environment, and you are going to be an extension of that to truly help people understand what the value of precious metals are, and understanding what value means anyway, just the sheer fact of value, because we're all so taught on price, as you have helped educate me in that area. But David, why don't you help people understand just the general sense of the difference between, because a lot of us say money, and in my household, we were all not only had that money addiction, but we were calling cash money and currency money. You don't hear that come out of anybody's mouth, from my youngest son to my daughter, my oldest son, my wife. They now all say, oh, this is cash or currency, and they know what real money is. So why don't you help everybody understand in general? Because I think a lot of people, just like me, didn't know that, because we've been always going to school, just listening to what we've been taught, which we've been now, like you said, been indoctrinated to walk away from our birthright.
Yes. So true. And so the best way to put it, and I'm glad that, and that's one of the things that is one of my primary objectives whenever we're teaching, and is that we want to make sure that people come away with the understanding and also the actual wherewithal to make their own sovereign decisions. And what does that basically mean? What's in the best interest of you, your family, your community, and your overall energy, how you resonate, right? And so when we get people to start calling currency, because that's what it is, right? And money, and they know the difference between the two, you're already halfway there because of this. When you understand that, you'll understand value, okay? And once you understand value, you start to have the interaction that you see that it's you that's valuable with all of the other living entities that are in God's ecosystem. And then that's where you start to move from it's valuable to here's where the pinnacle is. It's priceless.
Absolutely.
And it's sustainable. So very, very true. Very true. And the most important thing is it's sustainable. So what's the difference between currency and money? Very easy. Very, very easy. So what we like to teach, what we teach is this. If God made it, plain and simple, let me just get my 1 second. If God made it, it's a form of money. God doesn't make anything that doesn't have intrinsic value to sustain life. And when you're able to sustain life, you're what? You're what? You are wealthy. Man makes currency, and generally man makes currency outside of the ecosystem to steal your birthright. It's a form of taxation because it is actually based off of a debt note. And what is debt? Something that keeps you from being wealthy. Debt can never make you wealthy. It can only make you rich. And I teach this all the time. When you're rich, you're one economic mistake from going broke. When you're wealthy, you can never go broke. Everyone here should be moving their mentality and their energy and their intrinsic capability to never, ever be able to go broke, but always live in a wealth stream. And that takes discipline. So if God made it, it is a form of money because it sustains life. If man made it, it's a currency. Okay, best way to put it. So when you look at that, and I think we have a dollar bill and an American Silver Eagle here, Dom. Okay, so now let me show you what happens and how we get deceived. And one of the things I always teach is that we are schooled to know the price of everything while knowing the value of nothing. Because once you engage in that, where you know the price of everything, price can be manipulated to your overall inimical financial demise, right? When it comes to when you know the value of something, no one can trick you out of what is correct, what you was owed and what's due to you, right? So that you can live the way that God intended you to live, free and independent, right? So very, very important. So there's currency and there's money. So right here we have an American Silver Eagle, right? If we look at the back of the American Silver Eagle, if we could just pull that up real quick. If you see what it says United States of America. That means that the Corporation of the United States of America knows what real money is. It's 1 ounce fine silver. See, it says United States of America, 1 ounce fine silver, $1. Can you see where it says that there?
Yes.
Right? Okay. So it says this $1. And you will learn, and this is one thing about that's so important about what we do with our clients. With our clients, we teach them actually what we do, and we give them the overall educational truths so that they can start to make sovereign, independent decisions for themselves, right? So when you don't have that information, you work every day off of price. You look at the price of everything. You look at the price of everything. When you're wealthy, you never look at price. When you're wealthy, you set the price to get more money. So now, here it is. It says United States of America, $1, 1 ounce fine silver. Now let's go to a Federal Reserve note, commonly referred to as a dollar bill. Most of you all called that money before. After today's class, you'll never call that money again. How many of you remember, we talked about this again, but I'd like to repeat it this way. You remember electric company, Sesame Street? Which one of these things is not like the other? Which one of these things is not the same? Okay, so let's take a look at that. If you look at the back of the of the Federal Reserve note, it has the pyramid with the eye, the luminous eye, and then it has the overall emblem of the Corporation of the United States. That is a eagle. Now, real quick, just if you look at the eagle's talons in the
American dollar, and just make that bigger if you can, Martina. If you can make that screen a little bit bigger for everyone. There you go.
And if you can't, don't worry about it. Here's what's so significant about that symbol and that emblem. If you look at the eagle in its talons, it has the olive branch and then arrows. Because this is the thing. They're telling you through our dollar, we're going to offer you an olive branch. And if you don't take what we're going to give you, our debt, we're going to give you the wars of arrows, the arrows of war. So it's, you either take what we're going to give you, and if you don't go with it, then we're going to give you the arrows of war. Go back to the American Silver Eagle. Look what's there. There is no arrows of war. It's God's olive branch of peace. It goes over everybody's head. It goes over everybody's head. So now, let's take a look. Go back to the Federal Reserve note, the currency, the debt instrument. If you look at it, it says United States of America, $1. Same thing it said on the American Silver Eagle. But this one doesn't say fine silver. It just says $1, right? And if you read the front of it at the top above the overall indicator of which Federal Reserve Bank actually printed this one, it says this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. It's a note. It's a promissory note. And I always like to say this. Hey, ladies, how many times have men promised you something that they reneged on? Fellas, how many promises has ladies reneged on to you? Here's the difference. The great creator God Almighty has never reneged on a promise. There is no promise note. It is the promise of prosperity. So now, if you read it, it says this note is public. This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. What are they telling you? It's a note, and every note is a promissory note that loses value because it is not a form of money. It's a debt instrument. So let me ask y'all something. How important is it for you all to get out of debt? Pretty important, right? Well, how can you get out of debt when you're on the devil's payroll? What does that mean? That you are trying to get out of debt in something that you're saving in as a debt instrument that is losing purchasing power every single day. You can never get out of debt. It can make you rich, but it can't make you wealthy. The only way that the dollar can make you wealthy is if you exchange it for assets that never lose its value, right? So now both of them say $1, but in order for you to get an American Silver Eagle right now, you have to give 35, 36, 40, 45, or even 50 or up to 80 pieces of paper for the same $1 that you're going to get with the American Silver Eagle. So what is that saying? One is real money and one is actually an imitation, because that's what happens with man. And when they're on the devil's payroll, they always try to emulate through imitation what God has promised, and it never goes through. It never goes through. So now, in order for you to get the American Silver Eagle, you have to give 33 up to 80 of the American Silver Eagle. Why? Because the Corporation of the United States knows that 1 ounce of fine silver is real money. Notice it doesn't say this note is legal tender for all debts, because it's not a debt instrument. It's money. So that means it is not a promise. It is the promise. So very, very important. And some of the very significant parts about that is this. Once you have real money, and in our continuous education, you'll learn this. I'm gonna give you a little trick here. Does anybody, a little clue here. Does anybody know what the etymology of the word dollar is? What the etymology of the word dollar is? The etymology of the word dollar is silver. Is Latin for silver. So wait a minute. See, they're telling you everything there. So in order for it to be a dollar, it has to be silver. It can't be paper. This is why whenever you write a check, or if you write a dollar amount of something, you put an S and a line through it. That's a hallmark for silver. See, they know how to maintain and acquire wealth by everybody else being schooled to know the price of everything, while only being able to ascertain riches for a short period of time and losing their birthright. And when you devalue your birthright, everything else in your life falls apart accordingly. It is the true wage of a debt slave. So it's so important that we know these things. It's so important that we actually live these things. It's so important that we engage in this overall, these true principles to maintaining what has already been given to us. Here's the thing. It's been given to us, but it's required that we value what's been given to us and not squander it and lose it by doing what? Being on the devil's payroll. And that is the most important thing. That's how you become wealthy, is you maintain the principal truths of what God has already given to us. But the thing is that we can walk away from it through ignorance and because of we choose to have an I problem. I want to do it my way. Okay. You outcast yourself. One of the things in this system is that it teaches us to fire ourselves from our wealth every day. It teaches us to fire ourselves from our overall birthright every day. So we want to change that, and we want to show you this is what's been the truth since the beginning of life itself, and it will be the truth until the overall, till you make the great transformation, I make the great transformation, continuous. It is eternal. It is the eternal truth. So we want to actually assist you through MWR and the programming and everything that MWR is going to bring you through the MWR precious metals and everything else. We're going to guide, and we're going to give you the opportunity for you to learn this, because you know what? I am not a school person. I'm an educated person. We want to move you away from being schooled, because schooling means that you are going to be obedient and you're going to regurgitate what was taught to you. And education shows you how to succeed through adversity from proven methods that have been tested, tried and tested in the past and have been successful. That's an education. That's an education. But like we say, we all been schooled to know the price of everything while knowing the value of nothing. We've just been disenfranchised. So it's so much to this, and we are going to be here walking you through this and making sure that you grasp it, you know it, and I'm gonna tell you something. It already resonates with every single one of you. This is the second time we've had a call with you all, It already resonates with you. You already knew it, and you knew that there was something wrong and there was something that wasn't right with this, with the economic system, right? You knew that there was something wrong. That unction never, ever broke its overall tie to who you truly are. But it's your choice on what direction and what voice and what path you're going to go on. That's one of the great things about the great creator, God Almighty. It's never going to go against your will. If God can't make you do what's right financially, how can anybody else? Mm-hmm. So it's on you. It is on you. Fathers, husbands. It's your responsibility to make sure your home is actually growing the wealth so that you can have an inheritance that you pass on to generations and to those that you've yet not named. Mothers, it is on you to nurture your overall children, to be the overall wealth magnets and be the overall sustainers of life that has been blessed through you, that you extend them forever. And then when we fall to that, what happens is the generational wealth gap is no longer a gap. It is a wealth breakage. It's broken. And now it has to be amended. And that's what we're trying to do.
Well, David, I'm telling you, already the chat is blowing up. Everybody's excited. Here's what I want everyone to do. If you have any questions that you want answered, because you just have a few questions, put it in the chat. We're not going to be able to get to all the questions, but we'll get your question answered. But what I want to do right now, David, and what I want you to see, you kind of know what's going on, but I want to be able to show everyone where to go in your back office to get started with the precious metals environment. And we're going to walk you through those steps. So Martina, if you could do that for us, please, I appreciate it. So you see we're at the membership portion of your site, and you'll see here it's under create cash flow. You see it at the top. There's the icon, and you'll see the membership. It's multiply my money. That's where you'll find this. Uh-oh. Got to go back in, no challenge. Click on membership. Oh, just click on membership. There you go. Okay, perfect. Now, what we'll do is when you click on multiply the money, as you see there, it's just been multiplied. You go down to precious metals where it says learn more. So you'll see there MWR precious metals. It'll say learn more. You click on learn more, and now you're at the precious metals environment. You'll see just a quick little intro. This video we'll do something else with, but this is a quick little hello. David's just kind of welcoming everyone to what MWR Precious Metals is all about. You're going to be able to read the content that's there, how that grows assets and value for you. Then when you look below and it says ready to get started, you'll see the process. So you're going to see step one. It's letting you know you're going to watch a training video. That's going to really help you understand the difference between currency and money. David is just touching the very tip of the iceberg. So you'll be able to kind of understand that process. And that's important to know that. And the reason why it's required watching before you can ever make a purchase is because you need to understand what you're purchasing. David, why don't you just talk real briefly on why that step was critical for you to take our members through this so they're ready to purchase?
Yes, because I tell you, like I said, we're schooled to know the price of everything while knowing the value of nothing. Because most people, there's a correct way to acquire the precious metals, and then there's a wrong way, right? And I will tell you, buying the precious metals off of price is the worst way and the wrong thing for you to do. Most people would say, no, that's the most important. No, because I will tell you this. For myself and Andamo, Gary, and all of our clients, when people don't know and the only thing that they care about is the price, what happens is they're going to be giving their precious metals to us for free. For free. Because they are unaware of value. Value supersedes. Value is what makes it priceless. And so when people are worried about price, then that's the first mistake. And that's how manipulation, the market is manipulating the price against you so that they get your overall assets for pennies on the dollar. Let me give you an example of that. We talked about it the last time. Some of you may remember. We're going to go back to it again. You all familiar with gentrification, right? Okay. Gentrification does not start when other races or white people move into the neighborhood or the hood. It's when the people of our community and our tribe and within those communities don't know value. Here's what happens. Your home is not, most people say your home is an asset. That is so untrue. Here's why your home is not an asset. If the plumbing goes out, do you have to pay for a plumber to come fix it? If you get a hole in your roof is leaking, do you have to get that roof fixed? Do you have to paint the house? If you have an electrical problem, do you have to get that electrical problem fixed before it burns down the house? Yes. See, if it's an asset, it doesn't need monetary babysitting. It has intrinsic capabilities just because it exists, right? So what happens is in gentrification, here's the trick. They take your liability and tell you it's money, and then they go to you and say, I'll offer you $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 when you've never seen that much currency before in your life, and you think you're getting a deal, and then you sell the house, the liability, for $200,000, while the land the house is sitting on is worth $3 million. They just picked up a $3 million asset for $200 or $300. They're winning because the key to a profit is where you enter the market, not where you exit. Entry determines profitability. And when you know, and then in our trainings, in the acts of furtherance in our training, you will know which precious metal to enter in correctly for the most profitability. And guess what? You can't lose. If you don't know that, you're going to be price sensitive and you're going to lose your overall asset when they ask the right price for your liability, and you're going to lose the land. You notice in the word, God always offered land because land is a form of money. It's not the most perfect form. And one of the most perfect forms of money is you yourself, the precious metals. But land is not the most perfect form of money, but it is one of the forms of money. Very important. We teach all of this in our overall continuous education. So it's very important that you understand the difference between currency and money, because if you don't know that, then you're not going to be able to grasp how to gain interest off of your precious metals and how to acquire it without paying a penny. And then you can transfer that into another asset. Now you're doing what? You're growing. So very, very important, extremely important that you understand those fundamentals.
Great. Yes, thank you. Okay, thank you, Martina. Well, David, you're 100% right. In fact, one of the things that I think people, they heard the last time and they hear it and they just heard you say it just now, wait a minute, I'll be able to gain interest. I'll be able to acquire metals for free. Talk about one of the big differences with MWR and the MWR precious metals environment than people just going to any other, mint or dealer, precious metal dealer and buying precious metals, because of how you teach them how to become a ratio player.
Yep. Big difference. So what happens is this, is that one of the things for us, we have clients and we have customers. Our clients, we actually teach them what we've done and what we do, right? And the big difference is there you learn, because you know why I teach it? Because of this. The process of learning is never complete until you give away what you learned, right? Because then now what happens is that there's a collective prudence. We all have a collective interest, and now we can, there's enough for us all. One thing I never do, I never fight with someone that is economically deprived, disenfranchised, or wealthy. There's no need for me to fight with anyone. My wealth has already been given to me. I'm beholden to be a good steward to the talents and abilities that God has given me. That's enough. I never look at anybody else. I look to see what can we collectively do together, right? So it's critical when you learn and have an educational reasons why you do the things you're doing. Are they fundamentally sound? And if they're not fundamentally sound, it's a scam. And I will tell you, great Satan tried to scam Jesus out of his birthright. Guess what? That same scam is hitting you in different forms and propaganda and promotional and just through media sources and through schooling every day. And the difference is most of us make the deal with the devil. And every deal you make with the devil, you lose your soul. So it's critical that you get an education. We have customers. It's just a buy-sell relationship. Our clients are actually become our overall clients, our brotherhood, and our partners. When I gain and win, they gain and they win. I teach them, and guess what? If they want to do it, they don't do it. It doesn't do anything to me. It doesn't harm me. If they do it and they succeed, and it only benefits us. It is the best, co-op, and it's the best, prudent is it's the best thing for really growing your overall collective prudence. Because now everybody wins, and that's the key to everything, because everyone has intrinsic value. So you could go other places, but that's fine. I love when people go to other places, because whatever you're buying from them, you're going to be giving to me for free. And my clients, you're going to be giving to us for free. We're not going to take it. You're going to give it to us. And that's because they don't know the same market that they are trying to beat. Let me ask y'all something. How many people have ever gone to Vegas, and every time if you're a high roller or if you're someone that gambles a lot, how come your room and your drink is free, right? How come your stay is free? How come all of this is free? Because you know why? They got you with price. There is nothing that is free. They're charging you when they rig the tables that you are gaming on, and they're getting every drink. You're paying for 12 drinks, 12 rooms, 24 meals, and you're losing your savings. One thing is this: I don't gamble with my intrinsic ability. I multiply it. I don't gamble, because gambling is ungodly, because you're chancing away what the great creator God Almighty has given to you to be wealthy. You're saying is not enough. I'm a double down, and you're always going to lose. Always going to lose. So I don't gamble. I don't teach our clients to gamble. I teach our clients to be prodigious savers. That's the first step to becoming wealthy. You have to become a prodigious saver first, not a consumer. Not a consumer. So the difference with us is we teach them, and I can show you over 25 years how just making small investments in the precious metals would allow you to retire with real money, and real money has real weight, right?
Right.
And you have real money, and you will have $1 million. How can you have $1 million if they're paper? Dollars, that means silver. What millions of silver do you have? Then you can't be a millionaire if all you have is paper. You have a million debt instruments, a million debt coupons. So we show everyone how to actually gain interest, and that moves your cost per average down, and your holdings up. That's what you want to do. You want your cost per average to go down and your holdings to go up. And believe me, the holdings get heavy. And for those of us, our clients that are here, Andamo shaking, they know what that means. Then you'll be able to read the overall nuances that I say, and it will resonate with you because it's true. So that's what I want to do. I want to get your cost per average down and your overall holdings up. Let me give you an example of how important that is. I saw that there was someone here from DeSoto.
DeSoto, Texas, yes.
DeSoto, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So from that individual that's from DeSoto, okay, our overall precious metals company is here in Dallas, Texas, okay? So that person from DeSoto will know exactly what I'm saying. So from that person from DeSoto, they're familiar with the Arlington Entertainment District where Globe Life Stadium, the old one, the new one, and AT&T Stadium, and the new Lowe's Hotel and everything. They're familiar with that. If you could see it in their chat, they would say yes.
Mm-hmm.
If they say yes, let me know.
Yeah, they know it. They know it where it is.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. For that person that's there, is that area expanding and growing? And if you were going to buy some real estate there, would it be expensive or would it be cheap? Question for that person.
Okay, yeah, let me get to them.
If you see them.
They said, I'm looking at so many. I lost them. I know what they're saying. I'm going to find them, but they're saying it's going to be expensive.
Right.
It's a growing area.
It's going to be extremely expensive. We just purchased a commercial property where our view is AT&T Stadium. And based off of what we've been doing, it only cost me $87 for an acre and a 10,000 square foot modern building that we're going to be able to build. $87 is my cost per average for what it is. But guess what the sales price was? Oh, it was in the millions. But because we've been doing this for so long, my cost per average was $87. My cost per average for every ounce of gold that we have is cost per average is negative $831. Someone said, what? How does that happen? Right. Because you have to learn how that happens. Let me ask y'all something. So Jerry Jones is the owner of the Cowboys. Let me show you how this works. When you're wealthy, you get to publicize the liabilities and privatize the profits. Say that again. When you're wealthy, you get to publicize the liabilities while revenues that was given to Jerry Jones to build the stadium. And guess what? That paid for the building of the stadium. And guess what he gets to do after the building was complete? He gets to privatize all of the profits. You see how that works? That's because when you're wealthy, you tell the economy what to do. It does not tell you where to be. When you're rich, the economy tells you where to be, how long you're going to be there, what your rate of pay is going to be, and when you can retire and when you can take sick times off. It's a glorified slave because of this. Here's the key. The wage of a king and queen, every king and queen is paid in silver. The wage of a lady and gentleman that works for a king or queen is gold. Every single one of them is paid in gold. And the wage of a slave is debt. Every slave is paid in debt. That's what we show and we teach how you should be using God's promise to make you wealthy to be wealthy. And guess what? Game, set, match. It never fails.
And that's what's so exciting, David, is that I've been able to live that with you through this process and seeing that happen. And then more importantly, my children now are seeing that and understanding that and moving in that same direction and becoming, and they've been, but they're prodigious savers. They're not, they get what they're looking to do. And that is what I love about what we do here at MWR, that we go there. Now, Martina, go back to the back office, because I just want to show everyone something real quickly. So when you're on step one, and you're going to see this training video that you must watch, because it's important, and it's David really kind of going down, helping you understand, you know, the money and some of the things he's talking about there. He'll go into that. Once you do that, step two, if you had any questions, because some of you may have questions before you're ready to purchase, all you have to do is click on that Ask the Expert button, and that'll light up after you watch the video. So you see how it's lit up there? Then you ask the expert. And now you can ask him questions, and he'll get back to you through the chat system, and you can get those questions answered. And then because you've watched the video, what you'll see is that step three, the making a purchase, will come alive, and you can click on that, and you can go on and then purchase your metals. You'll be able to purchase your metals, and you'll be able to start your process of really having real money, converting that there are people's fiat, but converting cash and currency into real money. And so that's the power of it. The messages that come from the Ask the Expert, you will see them in your message center right here. So any questions that you ask, you'll be able to see that right there, and you'll see those answered. So that, I just wanted you to be able to see the simplicity of what the process is once you go in to purchase the metals, but it will be required to you watch that first training. After that, you'll see where you're going to be set up for the advanced trainings, which are critically important for those that are really serious about becoming a ratio player and trying to learn and be able to be in a position that you heard David talk about, where metals are given to you, and that when he purchases or acquires, I should say, because he doesn't have to go out and repurchase anymore. He's not in a position that when he acquires metals, it's almost like they're giving him $831 for every ounce of gold that he acquires. That is mind-blowing, but that is possible for every single person on this line over time. That will happen for us. So that's what's so exciting. What I want to do is see if there's any other questions. Martina, if you have any out there for me, I don't see that. I also want to tell you this, because we had talked about it earlier, but if you are not, let me just see something here. The videos, I do need to let you know this, that the videos in English and Spanish they're currently in production, but this will count as their training, and the purchase link for the Ask the Expert videos will go live. So they'll be up. What now you have to thank our great CEO and founder, Mr. Brian House. He's going to make this segment part of the training. So if you want, and you have been on this platform, you'll be able to go and start purchasing metals. But again, you'll do that. Now, the question is, I have someone that's asking, can you buy metals with crypto?
Great question.
That is a great question.
So what I would prefer to you do is exchange your crypto into cash, and then do it that way. And the reason being is because I'm glad you said the crypto, because one thing is, I want you to think about this. Crypto, what is it? Is crypto what? Currency, right? It's not money. So if you're exchanging your currency for money, that's the proper thing to do. Exchange your currency for money, right? You transfer your currency into money, and then you exchange your money for more money, right? So with us, you have to use currency only because I'm not going to be caught with a depreciating instrument such as crypto, because it is a form of currency, is not a form of money. Here's the problem with it. It has nothing to do with you. It's just that I know currency and I know money, right? Actually, Bitcoin, I got into Bitcoin in 2007, 2008, when you could actually mine it. And I already knew, use that currency to create, and I used the Bitcoin as it went up back then to create the overall ability to make our first major mine purchase. So I exchanged my currency for money. Best thing you do is exchange that, because I don't want the tax situation with it. And not only that, folks, we are going into a wartime environment with Iran, Russia and with everyone else. It's admitted. And one of the things that most people don't know, and my clients, they know, Andamo will tell you, I really make sure that our clients are safe when they travel abroad as well. So what happens is that when we go into this wartime scenario, guess what's the first thing that's going to go? You know, one of the biggest lies is they told you that cryptocurrency was created by a Japanese gamer. There's no way in the world a Japanese gamer could do that. That was the bankers that created cryptos. It's the bankers that created. And what it is the perfect form of currency. Here's why. You can devalue the purchasing power of it immediately. Here's how. They always say that cryptocurrency is it's a socket to the man system. It's a decentralized platform, right? That's the biggest lie. Here's why it's the biggest lie. Turn off the internet and see how fast you'll be able to access your overall crypto. It's reliant on the overall internet to be working. And when you go into a wartime scenario, guess what happened in Gaza? Guess what's going to happen in the Middle East as the U.S. Starts its overall retaliatory campaign? The first thing that's going to go down is the internet, the communications, the telephone lines, the cellular. Guess what? If you got crypto over there, boom, it's gone. One day you're going to come back, it's going to be completely gone. It is the bankers' premier form of currency to devalue the overall purchasing power that you are saving in. So no, we don't accept cryptos for payment. Nothing against it. It's a currency. It's just a thing that I understand the difference between currency and money. And one thing I do is this. I don't ever, only thing I keep in my bank account is what I'm willing to lose. Right? Everything else goes. I use my currency for what it should be used for, maintaining my quality of life and my standard of living, right? I do not save in it. I save in real money. So I hope I answered that question. There's a whole lot more to it, but so yeah.
That's great. So then that leads to the next question, Sharonda Harris, and that was Ben McCray. Thank you, Ben. Sharonda Harris asked, once you go through the 3 steps and finalize the purchase of their precious metals, how do you continue with the education afterwards? Sharonda, what will happen is you'll see a tab where it says continuing education. You'll register for that class. There'll be a one-time fee for that class, but you will literally have 6 additional trainings that are in that class. And because you're a client, once you go through those 6 additional trainings, you will have ongoing trainings that, David, you pretty much do them at least once a month for sure. But sometimes, depending on what's happening in the world and what's going on in the economy, you do it right then and there. And that's one of the things I love about I've loved about the relationship I have in terms of just me being a client of David's, is that I'm getting real-time information. So if I need to make an adjustment or do something, I can react to it right then because I know what's going on. And he does those. Some of those are more impromptu because something happened today in the world, and then he literally immediately gets everyone together. You'll get an email, and you'll just get on this platform, and he'll talk to you about it. And here's the beautiful thing. When he talks to you about it, if anyone has questions, he answers them all on there. It's amazing, David, just watching you work. And I know it's a passion is what you do. And for your clients, though, it's amazing. So that to me is, again, talking about value. That's so much more valuable because I know all that's going to do is allow me to acquire more and more money, real money, because I now understand the things that are happening, the things that affect currency, and I can be prepared. So, and that's what that does. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you want to plug in all the way through. Now, here's William Hancock. He's asking, does it matter if U.S. or versus Canadian silver?
Great question. So, here's the thing. There is no such thing as U.S. silver or Canadian silver. It's just silver. It's God's money. And God's money is universal. So no, it does not matter at all. But we will tell you which form of silver is the best entry for profitability. We will tell you that in our overall continuous education and our relationship with through MWR. You will know.
All right, we're going to take one or two.
There is no difference. That's one. There is no difference. That's why silver and gold, platinum, palladium, and rhodium is money throughout the universe, because they don't look at it as a nationalized instrument. They look at it as what it is, a form of money. There is no nationalization. Let me show you the power of that. How many of you all ever been on a plane and you ever looked out a window? Well, when you look out a window on a, what you see is God's promise. You notice you don't see man's lines of lies and borders.
Interesting.
You notice that?
Interesting.
You look out a window when you're in a plane, you see God's promise. You don't see man's lines of lies to disenfranchise. You don't see that.
Very true.
I'm talking about borders of states, countries, and all of that stuff.
You don't see that. You're very, very true.
Because that is not a true existence of why you're here. That is what we've been schooled to accept. So,
very good point. Very good point. Here's Linda Power. She's asking, where should I store the silver coins?
Great question. So, in our continuous classes, we will tell you that, but I will tell you this. You have to keep it in your physical possession. The only people that should know where it is are those that are your responsibility now and your heirs. Okay. So I will tell you one place you should not keep it. Okay. Do not keep it in a place that someone can lock you out of and you can't get to it. Right. You should have full control. See, control of one. And this is such a great question. Let me preface it this way. Do you realize even if you buy the precious metals, you can't own it? You can't own it. You can only control it. Because if you put your name on it, right, you inscript your name on it, you have your social security engraved in it. If someone gets possession of it, all they have to do is put fire to it, and guess what it's going to do? It's going to melt out the ownership, and it's still going to be silver and valuable. So your silver that you hold should be under your control. And this is one of our sayings. Wealth is never determined by how much cash you hold, but how many assets you control. So you have to have control of it, because then you get all of the intrinsic abilities of it.
Absolutely. So I'm going to do this because we're getting down to the end here, but I want to just say this. I know this is a good question. Tammy Wilkins asked, should we purchase prior to taking? The beautiful thing about having an expert at MWR, what Brian House is our great CEO and founder has put together, and it's done. Purchase, but what will happen is the training though is so critical to ensure that you are understanding how to make sure you're a ratio player, so you're not just a consumer and you're just buying metals. If you have a question, you can always ask the expert. It'll get answered.
I will tell you this, and this is going to answer Tammy's question. Most people think that if you look at silver and gold, everybody's going to tell you that gold is more valuable than silver, and that's the biggest lie. So I really would say that you definitely need to take the class, and then if you're going to be buying, you need to be buying silver right now, not gold. Most people don't know that silver is 10 times more valuable than all of the precious metals combined. And because we get propagandized with gold, silver. So what they do, they're smart. They put the price of silver super low, so their entry to accumulate wealth is lower. And they have you run off and buy gold. So very important. The key right now is to enter the market correctly, because I know if you don't know, you're going to make the mistakes that we want to try to save you from. Really transferring your currency into a form of savings in the right one. Gold has its place, but it's not now. It's silver. It's silver now. So I hope we answered that question.
No, that was a great question. Great question. Well, we're at the end of the hour. So what we have to do is, number one, David, I want to thank you again very much for your time here. We love the relationship we have here. You coming over and really making this possible, because I know this was not something in a knee jerk like you, because I know in your mind you were never going to do this kind of involvement, this kind of relationship.
No,
you weren't going to do that. You were never going to do that. But through the relationship that you and I have, understanding that Brian was in alignment with all of us, and you saw what we're doing for people, we appreciate that you opened this up and to be able to create clients through MWR and make this an exclusive relationship that it is. So everyone put in the chat number one if you think David is number one, because it is awesome.
You know what? Real quick, let me, because we have a second for me just to.
Yes, go ahead.
We are here, and we went into this because of my relationship with you, Dom, and my clients. I care about my clients. You know, I wasn't looking. We've actually turned down other organizations and groups because I'm focused on taking care of the people that you do have, and then let that energy bring the right people along. And that's how I met you, through Roger. Right. And so my relationship with MWR is entered through you, Dom, and because I care about my clients, and I'm not into taking on major organizations because that's not my overall goal. My overall goal is to really, really resonate with the same frequency and the same energy of prosperity and wealth that is life sustaining. So it's priceless. So that's why we got into this whole thing, Dom, and I so much appreciate you all and going to grow this collectively together.
No, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. Ladies and gentlemen, you know where to go. The Precious Metals is right there in your back office tonight. Thanks to our great IT team and obviously David kind of connecting his company with our company, and then our great IT team, Jonathan, our chief information officer. He put this all together so you could see it tonight. So with that, we're going to say, I'm going to bring on, I'm going to bring back up our Mr. Daryl Banks, and he has some little bit of news for you before we get out of here. So I thank you so much, everyone. Let's go make a difference in people's lives. And remember, at MW, they're not going to count your money, because now we understand they weigh it.
That's right.
Unmute, Daryl, unmute. We're not hearing you, Daryl. For some reason, we're not hearing you.
All right.
Your mic.
The information
Okay, got it.
You've given us, Mr. The information that you're giving us, Mr. Wren, is taking us to another level in creating wealth. And we want to thank you so much for what you're bringing to us. And guys, we want to say congratulations to our MWR Financial testimonial winner, Mr. Ronald Samuel. I'll tell you, he has submitted his testimony and it was selected. He has a month of bragging rights, as well as his services have been awarded to him for 1 month. So listen, you submit your testimony. We want to hear from you. If you got one, put it in, and let's get this information out to the masses. With that said, we want to thank you all for being on tonight, and we'll see you next Thursday at 8:30 p.m., where you get to hear from another expert on how our wealth membership is changing lives. Thank you so much.